What's up, YouTube? COD4Man221 here, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 online replay. We are in Season 3. I've done 2 seasons before this. Each is about 50 episodes. A little bit more, so I have half an episode. Anyway, we are going against 2 Wehrmacht players. So it's actually just a interesting US versus Wehrmacht. You can see their names right here. And you can see our bulletins. This guy had an interesting bulletin. Shoot for the stars. The artillery officer gets 8%, basically increases the artillery range by 8%. That's pretty good. So anyway, I'm going to be using the armored company. And the main reason for this is probably just have some heavy armor on this map. Rails and metal right here. And also, I want to try out the combat engineers again after all the patches happened. And so yeah, you can see those guys are going to move up in the battlefield. The nice thing is to have, they cost as much as basically a rifleman squad, but you can have them out quickly, so you can have like double the force. So you can have the riflemen and those guys out, and you can move out in like a strong formation. Anyway, Nick on this side is going to be fighting over the fuel on this victory point, and I'm going to basically be going up against the purple player here, who's going to be using assault grenadiers. They're Menschen. Yeah, these guys seem like they were both German, at least the guy I was facing. And yeah, the assault grenadiers are interesting. They have no anti-tank capabilities, but they can be quite good. I just want to warn you, though, if you're going to be using these guys, when they have the sprint ability, that they cannot fire, so that's one thing. But I also think it makes them more vulnerable. Like, they seem to take more casualties when they're sprinting, so almost like they're disregarding cover. I have 2 units protecting this munitions right here, and we forgot to capture this, which means, thankfully, because I have this point, it connects it that way. We look on the map. So that connects the fuel, but we should grab this fuel point. Anyway, I see those assault grenadiers, and I'm like, okay, good idea to fall back here. So you're taking a lot of damage to those assault grens. And I get out of there. I am, however, putting my troops behind the cover of this wall right here. This is going to be my front lines along this wall right here. It'll allow me to shoot at this, basically protect my VP here, and protect the center VP if I switch onto that wall. Since he's running, all my men are behind cover. And, yeah, you can see how quickly those guys got shredded. I seem to have completely given up on Nick's sector and are now focusing on my sector. That's okay, though. Now I see a machine gun, and I'm like, oh boy. Get behind the wall. I have more riflemen coming out as we speak, also. They're going to start moving up here. I'm just getting my guys in a heavy cover because they're all in negative cover. Now these guys with their grease guns, the assault engineer squads, these guys are okay, but the range isn't that good with the grease guns. They're not going to be doing too much damage, but if these guys try to close in and come up close, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I'm trying to like move around, make it hard for their machine guns to pin me down. And Nick is just going to start flanking around here and try to push him back. And look, we even have these guys coming in here. I'm going to have to withdraw this squad before I lose them. Because those guys will tear us out with their MP40s, that close range. Anyway, Nick's starting to force back these guys with his troops. I am still going to stay and just start shooting at those guys. And you can see that MG is basically in trouble. It'll probably get destroyed, actually. So now they got flanked there, and I'm going to move up. I do, however, really need an ambulance. My men need the reinforcements at the line, especially these guys. They haven't taken any casualties, but they're almost dead there. So I'm going to do the noble thing, and I was asking Nick, hey, can I have that machine gun? Because I don't want to get any machine guns just yet, and I was able to take their MG42. So that should really help me out, having that MG42. But yeah, American riflemen are really much better than the assault grenadiers, especially with their, because they have semi-automatic rifles, the M1 Grand. And, you know, they're pretty good. They can fire pretty fast, so. And I'm debating about getting an ambulance at this point. I really kind of want to almost ignore it and just grab a lieutenant. Actually, I got a lieutenant. So yeah, I should probably get an ambulance pretty soon, which I'm making one right now. Just to heal up my troops and keep them at full health, you know. And they, you know, a machine gun with this little bit of health, it can get killed pretty easily. And you can see they've gone for a mortar. So right now we are winning with VPs currently, and I'm taking back this VP, and we've kind of ignored the middle. That's usually what happens. But these guys are gonna go try to take the middle for me, and these guys are capturing that victory point. So I figured I could at least set up my MG42 behind this wall right here and heal him up. So I'm kind of luring him in towards the MG42 and on my men, and yeah, look at this. These guys just got shredded. Yeah, they did not see. I don't think he saw the lieutenant and all the troops stationed. He does have a mortar though, so that is going to be threatening my forces, especially they're kind of grouped up along the wall here. So I have to go deal with that. Get rid of it. He's actually going to move it up, surprisingly. But I have multiple units here, so.
We're losing a capture point.
Nick has an ambulance also. So we have another kind of light force moving in towards the next point. And it seems like they've pretty much mostly given up on my point here. They are trying to kill me though. Anyway. You can see that those guys are getting destroyed behind that wall right there. And I also just took out his mortar with these troops right here. And don't let the assault engineers get that close to your support weapons. They will shred them up close, obviously. And yeah, my lieutenant's taking shots at this grenadier squad. And they're definitely taking cover behind. Looks like some wire right there, or something. It seems like me and Nick play this map a lot. We pretty much know how to win on both sides. They are pushing up though, and Nick does have a captain, so that's gonna pretty much negate his scout card. It's not gonna, it's just stopped it in its tracks. So what Nick chose to do, if we go on to him, is he chose the captain over the lieutenant. And I chose the lieutenant over the captain, so we have our forces mixed basically. Nick can stop tanks early on, and I have the machine guns and access to like light cars, but I'm mainly going for the major right now to go put him near the ambulance for my kind of forward HQ. And these guys still the MG, and they're going to set it up along the trench line right here to help prevent any possible, attack on that victory point right there. We put down a lot of munitions at this point, like 1 munitions cache already. I'm trying to figure out, it seems like he's teching up again, but he doesn't have a lot of, this guy doesn't have a lot of forces like I were looking at right here. He must have lost some, so he only has 300 manpower. And yeah, he did lose the grenadier squad, so he's losing some forces here, and he's repairing his armored car, so his fuel is low. And this guy is already in that, so he's kind of rushing to possibly get a Panzer IV out. But his fuel is pretty low also, and he hasn't built any of the buildings, because I took their fuel again, so it's important that we're kind of harassing their fuel. We have our own locked down pretty much with Nick here, setting up defenses, artillery. He has his howitzer here, and he has the AT of the captain. So he's pretty fortified there. I'm getting pretty fortified along the wall here. That's where I'm going to try to defend. I'll keep harassing their fuel when I can, but at this point I'm just building fuel caches. I do have the bulletin that gives me priority fuel, so that makes my fuel 10 more manpowers off of it. I think it's worth it if you're building a lot of these. I'll save you manpower in the long run. I also put a fighting position down here to help protect the center from any kind of attack. But yeah, they barely held the victory points more than us. At one point we lost like 10 victory points so far. Wow. So you can see his men are being suppressed, and you also have the captain out. Make us set up a very strong defensive position here. Very good anti-tank, anti-infantry, nice combination of combined arms there. And if they sent a tank up here, I'd be pretty screwed, to be honest. I am rushing myself for a tank, a Jackson. I should have one out in 1 minute or so, once I have enough fuel for it. Anyway, I see these guys coming. I start shooting into them. They start getting suppressed, but there's multiple units in them. And I figure I just gotta pull back. I'm gonna lose my MG if I don't get out of here.
disconnected.
Anyway, so I have all my troops behind the wall here. And they have a mortar that came back, but my MG is reinforcing off the ambulance back here, and they are too far forward. These horses are being pushed back with massive casualties, almost losing units here. And you can see we're just behind the cover right here, and we're behind the heavy cover and light cover, so they're in the middle of the open. So they're forced back there again, and I see the grenadiers right here, so I'm going to move in with my 2 assault engineer squads. We're going to move in and take these guys down in the trenches. That's what these guys are meant for, basically. And the riflemen are coming up to help support. But these assault engineers, they should eat these guys for breakfast. You know, they're a much better unit, and they cost 80 more manpower than the pioneer squad. Anyway, that mortar's out there, and I've moved a lot of my men back to help reinforce. And the Jacksons should be coming out soon. I'm a little low on manpower at the moment. And I guess he's going to go try to take out these guys. The mortar's going to be taken out by the assault engineers. Nick is meanwhile taking back this point. So we're pretty interested in taking their fuel again. We're really starving these German players of any fuel that they desperately need. This guy does not have enough to even build a support corps. I mean, he could build a support corps at this point. Let me just kill one of my lieutenants. But he doesn't have enough fuel to make any kind of cancer for or anything. And by that point, you know, I'm going to have a Jackson out shortly here. So now he's making the armor. They have a very small infantry force, and they're grabbing another MG. My infantry force is extremely large. I have many, many units, and I haven't lost any units so far in this match. I'm taking the munitions. I'm like, I would rather like some more munitions.
German forces tracking on 300 points.
And now they're down 300. We have another attack that's going to come in, it looks like. Probably towards me. They've tested Nick several times. But keep in mind, that is light armor on that scout card. So, yeah, basically going to be taken down by bars and my machine gun and everything. I can always switch over with my MG42 to the incendiary armor-piercing rounds. And meanwhile, we are going to be reinforcing and healing up troops here. Jackson is almost out at this point, and I have taken that. So I'm falling back with these units to get him healed up quickly. I know an attack's coming. I figure, you know what, they've stopped on Nick. They're probably going to come after me. And once I saw all these units through the fog of war, like I saw that was starting to fall, and I was like, okay, there's probably more units. And I was right, so thankfully all my men aren't back at base. They're kind of spread out. They're getting healed up here. MG is here. I don't have any forward units that are scouting, apparently, because I pulled back that one unit. And I start to see a lot of these units here. Most of my men are behind cover, though. And at long distance, I mean, business like this, I'm not going to win against grenadiers. So I do have a Jackson. I'm going to switch him on to prioritized vehicles, so he's not going to shoot at random infantry squads trying to kill some of them. So they're getting ready to push on in and attack me right there. These guys can heal up. It's really important that I have this forward base, basically. And with the suppression and the machine gun and Lieutenant shooting at them, they're going to have to fall back here. Now there's multiple units. These guys are not shooting, they don't have the range. Nick has his mortar half-track here. I'm telling him I'm doing okay. And they get a Stug. Anyway, I see more units moving up there. My men are still healing up, and I'm trying to get them reinforced as quickly as possible. I'm just sending them right back to the front, to be honest. If they have 4 men, I gotta go. These guys are almost done, and they're hopping over the wall right here. Big mistake. There's a lot of units right here. And this is basically my match to lose at this point. The Stug is moving up. Jackson's a damaged engine, but it's a far superior tank destroyer than the Stug. This guy's now vet 2. And that guy's gone. I am healing up. And now I'm shooting at this unit right here. I figure he's not really, he's aimed at my infantry mostly. This is going to be very dangerous to your infantry. feel like I'm at the Ardennes, the Battle of the Bulge, just a massive attack. And once I destroyed their armor, pretty much, you know, that guy didn't stand a chance. I was getting another Sherman, actually, at this point. I was getting a Sherman. This really stood no chance. It did capture a victory point in the field, but how long was that going to last? I repelled their assault, and that was 2-on-1 there. Nick was sending some troops, as you saw. I was bringing these guys over, trying to help me out. And when we go game to our opponents, you can kind of see the ins and out of basically how to set up a defense on this side with really using the wall. It's a great advantage here. And yeah, these walls give you a ton of good cover, really, to hold that. And keep pressing your opponent's fuel. You will make the Germans lose if they do not have enough fuel to sustain their tanks. Government 221 signing off. Hope you enjoyed.